Hey folks, Segasonicfan here with my new workbench in progress, but looking a little nicer each day. And I wanted to show just something I was taking apart for the workbench because it broke within a week of me having it, maybe 2 weeks. It wasn't very long. And I wanted to show what the engineering mistake was and just kind of some of the cooler pieces of engineering that are in this thing as well. This is a magnetic clip-on, what's called a closet light. And this particular one, which actually, for the most part, seems to be made much better than its other counterparts that look really similar, is by MOANI. MOANI-S, Model E02 is what this says. And I just got this, online, of course. And it's like I said, it's called a closet light. And I thought I'd show the inside of it because it's pretty nifty. You put this on a closet or wherever you want. It's magnetic, or you can drill, there's a hole here, or put adhesive tape so that this will clip to the aluminum wherever you decide to put it. And then it's got a motion sensor here, along with 2 buttons. Slots in like so. You got your power and your dimming. And it's a really nice diffused light. You get 3 different frequencies of light, so you get the kind of yellowish and then in between, which of course is just trading off LEDs being lit up. And what else can I say? And then it also dims. And so it's nice, it's durable, it's magnetic, it's cool. What's wrong with it? Well, mine stopped working because I left the light on overnight, if you can believe that. And I'll talk about what happened and why that is. But first I want to show how the diffusing mechanism works. It's pretty cool. It's got a string of lights there, and it basically works, and a string of lights on the other side as well, and it works the same way that a backlit screen for computers work, by using a diffuser like so, and then a top diffuser as well. And what that does is it cleverly avoids, by putting the lights on the sides like that, it cleverly avoids hot spots, which are really common and, problematic on lights like this. If I go ahead and lower the brightness, you'll see, maybe, you can see just some of the little spots that come out. It's really quite obvious when you're looking at it. Now that lamp kind of shines downwards, so it's not that big of a deal. But if it had a nice diffusing mechanism like this, it would just look that much nicer. The magnets in here are glued into place. They're nice, really decently sized coin cell type magnets. And the circuit board looks decent. It uses USB-C type connector. What's nice about this one is it's actually got the larger contacts for soldering. I should really try to source some of those. It's much easier to install than some of the other ones I've seen. Interesting. I didn't know you could do that with USB-C. Pretty cool. Decent quality buttons, 2 little SOIC 8 packages, and a couple of 3 SOT23 packages, which are probably just low-level NPNs or whatever. And so if we take a look at this under the microscope, I'm just going to reverse engineer this a bit because we're here and I find it interesting. Put this on under my microscope, and we'll see here, what do we got? We got 2 ICs, of course. One of them appears to be sanded off near the battery input, and the other one, we do have a part number, and it says 4056H. Then underneath that, 1200310. So that part number, if we look at what's happening with that chip, we see it's going to 2 resistors to 2 LEDs above it, 0603 LEDs. And it looks like pin 8 is power trace, not too surprising. Same with pin 4, which has a sense resistor of sorts. I'm gonna guess that this is the battery charger. Yeah, because you have the 2 LEDs, which say the battery state, and the sense resistor really indicate that that is in fact the battery charger circuit. Mystery 1 solved, and then we have the IC number 2 here that's been sanded off, which no doubt is, well, let's see. It looks like, I don't know if it's a microcontroller, although I guess it would have to be if it's going to do this motion controlled. It's going to use this motion sensor. Although I will say I've seen some of these really tiny motion sensors that actually have their own circuit board built in. Those are getting quite advanced these days. And so perhaps it's got a pre-calibrated sensor board already built in there. And this chip here is just a switching FET, and not in fact a microcontroller. It's entirely possible. The way I'm looking at it, it looks like pin 8. Yeah, pin 8's power trace. These wide traces, though, coming out from pin 7 and pin 8. Pin 8 being more understandably a power trace. Pin 7, though, well, pin 7 has an LED attached to it. Interesting. Not sure. Would have to look at it a little bit closer, a little longer, think about it more. I have other things to do with my time right now, but just wanted to give a little bit of a rundown. However, you'll see here I lifted the Kapton tape, the polyamide tape, above the battery. So what happened was this LED was on overnight. It was just chilling. You see all the LEDs there with their resistor. And what happens when you have a battery-powered LED anything, it really has to have a voltage monitor of some sort. And a current monitor as well is always nice, but at least a voltage monitor to know when it's sinking below, like, 3.1 volts or 3.2 volts. Because once a battery protection circuit, which is like the one that's built in here, once the voltage drops below 3 volts, it will permanently disconnect the battery cell from the protection board, and it will not charge anymore after that. Such was the case with this device. By leaving it on for one single night, it discharged that battery cell below its safety threshold for the protection board, which in this case was 3 volts, as it usually is. So it dropped to 2.9 something. And after it dropped to 2.9, it wouldn't charge anymore. Really frustrating, because everything else about this is designed exceptionally well. But I've seen this problem before with these sort of no-name brand or, less name brand electronics that you can buy online. And in every other regard, this is a great piece of, a great product. So it's really a shame that they didn't catch this. And so what I had to do is go in here, lift off the polyamide tape, and actually trickle charge the tabs of the battery here using a bench supply with a current limiter. And so I current limited it to about 0.3, 0.4 milliamps. And I'm sorry, yeah, something around that. And trickle charged it at 3.16 volts to bring it up over 3. And did that as quickly as possible so that not as quickly as possible, but I did that get it over 3 volts as soon as I could so that I could then take the 2 wires going to the battery terminals here, desolder them, and I had to do that first before doing that, then solder them back, and then I was able to charge it. So again, the steps are, if you have this problem, you got to lift the polyamide tape, take a measurement from the tabs of the battery itself. Now, if those tabs measure below 2.5 volts, this battery is going to be too dangerous to recharge. It's already sunk too far below, and it could explode. Let's not do that, folks. So do this at your own risk. But if you have this between like 2.9 and 2.6, if you catch it soon enough, then you can do this. You can lift up the polyamide, take a measurement, see what your measurement is. You can put a resistor in series and trickle charge it, or have a current limiting bench supply to trickle charge it at something a little bit over 3 volts. Do that until it's happy, and then you can take the 2 wires and reconnect them to your main board, and you should be able to charge it just fine. That's what I did in this scenario, and I'll show you that it now works. Unless, of course, it decides to embarrass me on camera, which hopefully it doesn't. Works out fine. And so, yeah, the diffuser just slides on into place, but it's a nice, very bright light, and, if it wasn't for that, I'd be super, super happy with it. And so, yeah, it has the motion sensor, and how it works, by the way, is so there's on, there's off, and then if you click a third time, when you saw that blinking, that means the motion sensor is active. So theoretically, if I go away and put my hand, might not be working so well with all the lights and all the heat in this room right now too. Let's try it again. So we got on, motion sensing, motion, It's not working for the motion sensor right now. Interesting. Perhaps it needs to be in a dark place, or a place with less things to pick up heat from. Because yeah, it's not really working. But yeah, I just left it on like this, and it wasn't happy. I sure wish the motion sensor was working, so I could at least show you how it functions when it's in your closet. Maybe if I turn off everything. There we go. Okay, so yeah, the various lights on my workbench were screwing it all up. But yeah, it gives a really nice diffused light. It's a bunch of LEDs in there. And I guess the LEDs on the opposing side are the ones with the different spectrum of light. Oh, God, I'm so brain farting on that word right now. Different frequency of light. Anyway, go ahead and turn this off and try that again. So, yep, and there it goes. Turns on because it's sensing me around. Try to do it with just see if I can get it to trigger just with my hand, but maybe not because it's sensing that I'm here. Motion detectors, by the way, they sense heat, by the way. That's how they work. And so as long as this is sensing the heat from my body and or the various electronics here, it's going to be hard to make it not turn on. So it's, it's pre-calibrated. You can't adjust it, which is fine. The color temperature, that's the phrase I was looking for. Yes, so the LEDs over here are a different color temperature. They're like a different brightness, different white. They're a little bit more pinkish. So it should be, when I click this, there they come on. You get that kind of more yellowish, maybe not pinkish, yellowish light. And so the two work combined together to create a different color temperature. And then you click one more time and it goes to only just the warm color temperature. By the way, this is how almost all budget and maybe all LED white balance color temperature lights work that I've seen. It's the same with my camera light. So yeah, you can swap between the three temperatures, and then if you hold it, well, it takes a while, it will dim, as you can see there. So yeah, you'll see these all over the place, and they're quite cool. But yeah, I guess just don't be like me and leave one on. Make sure it's always on motion sensing mode, and you won't have to revive the battery like I did. And if you do have to revive the battery, you can watch this video and learn how to do it. Hope you learned something new. This is Segasonicfan, signing out.